Darkest Dungeon. This is a game that I feel like I have to review for a few reasons. I only gave it an honorable mention in my top games of 2016, and it definitely should have gotten a high honor, a high place in that list. It's an amazing game, and the only reason why it didn't is because I'd only played a bit of it, and I'd actually taken a break due to frustration. This game will beat you down. And that's another reason why I want to do this review, because so many people do get beaten down by it. I think a lot of people, like me, they start playing for a while, and then some disastrous thing happens in their campaign, and they give up. Or they see that their money is going away, or something happens, and they just well, I'm going to have to restart, or this is just too shitty, I feel too much of a loss, I'm done. That shouldn't happen. And I know that happens a lot. I also know from reviews that this game gets unfairly criticized for its difficulty and its RNG. If you look at Steam reviews, even, I saw a mainstream media review the other day talking about how this is just an RNG fest, a roguelike RNG fest. It's neither of those. And this is a game where there is a steep learning curve, but almost every game these days has RNG. You just learn how to deal with it. If you are playing Counter-Strike, you want to go full auto, maybe you don't aim at the top of their head, because there's going to be RNG in that fire cone. Aim lower. You just work around it. There is a really steep learning curve to this game, however. And there are things that will be soul-crushing, that will seem campaign-crushing, but one way that this game is actually easier than games like XCOM is that if you're playing on the easy or the default difficulty, there is no actual game over condition. You can just keep trying forever. I was really worried that I would run out of characters, I would run out of money, something would happen. It just doesn't. It never does. You can keep trying forever. So that's one of the major hurdles in this game, is your ability to keep trying. To keep, in the face of losing some of your favorite characters, of, spending an hour in a long dungeon and just losing and getting nothing from it. Getting over this is one of the biggest hurdles, but it's really worth it to try to get over it. This was one of the most engrossing games that I've played in recent memory, because of the combat, the story, which is very much based on Lovecraft, especially the Curious Case of Charles Dexter Ward. A good story, by the way. Its art, atmosphere, the narration. I was just enthralled by this game. But it took me a while. I started, and I had to take a couple month break because I was just so beaten down. And then I tried again, and I got through about a good 75% of the game, and then I had something happen that I had to take another 2-week break before I could, actually build up the courage to get back at it. But it's just so well made. I think everyone has to give this one a shot. If you like tough games, strategy games, if you want one of the, in my opinion, one of the only two games that really properly give that Lovecraftian vibe, that feel, this and Bloodborne. If for any of these reasons, these are the reasons that you play games, you need to give this a shot. And you owe it to yourself to give it more than a light shot. I know that there's so many games these days, and this one's cheap. You can often pick up Darkest Dungeon these days, at least at the time of this review, on sale for like $10. I think even the complete version pack now is really, really cheap. So I know that you have options. You have cheap options. And I think that's why so many people, they pick up a lot of cheap games. They'll maybe try it for a while. It's like, I'm not really feeling it. But this game is worth it. Steep learning curve, but stick with it and you'll be enthralled.
Our modest fellowship expands. Praise the sub.